Coach, we got the Olympic trials coming up next week, July 1st through the 10th, for Team USA. And as a member of the Team USA staff, you have a very in-depth appreciation for this meet. So kind of break down, we'll start with the three current athletes for the Gamecocks that are going to be out there. We have Dondre, Tyler Brockington, and Natasha Dix, who will be out there. So as their college coach, kind of break down what you expect to see from them out in Eugene.
You know, it's one round at a time, and Tyler, we look for her to make that second round, and the same with Dondre. The triple jump is an event that we possibly, right off the bat, if we have the kind of marking she's had early in the year, got a shot at being a finalist. Every one of them, you know, it's one event at a time. Advance. It doesn't matter if you win until you get to the finals. And so as young as they are, it's going to be quite an experience. But they've been through the SEC championships, the regional championships, the national championship. All three are All-Americans. So, you know, they're getting the kind of experience that lays a good foundation for success at the Olympic level. So that's what the SEC does, and that's what tradition here at Carolina has done, is prepared athletes that have that kind of talent to get to that next level. And that's a difficult thing, is to weed yourself out into the bracket of elite. A lot of kids start. Track is the biggest participatory sport in the country. It's the most well-known sport in the world. And so we're fortunate enough to have three athletes that make that qualifying standard and get a chance to go to U.S. championships. We right now, Mike has a standard also. He just injured, so that would have given us four athletes. We're waiting to see if Isaiah gets to the trials. He's sitting as number 33, and they take 32, Isaiah Moore, and then another collegiate. We have international collegiate athletes that are there. So we're gonna have a good representation, and some of them are going to be at the games.
And we'll move over to Dondre, who will be at those trials, competing in 110-meter hurdles. You're going back to Eugene. You were just there a few weeks back for the national championships. Get on that All-American podium. So, what is your excitement level, heading into these trials?
I'm very excited. Try not to overthink it, and I've been working pretty hard and getting ready for this race. So, my goal is to just give it my all and run as hard as I can. I think I'll get a good outcome, regardless of what happens.
And does it help you at all to kind of have those nationals under your belt and race in front of those big crowds and kind of get the feel for the level of competition you're going to be facing at the trials?
Definitely. I think the big meets that I have been to have got me to realize that each track meet is just another race, and I don't have to build it up as high as I do all the time.
And as an athlete, being in track and field, your ultimate goal is to make the Olympics. Have you kind of been training more mentally to get ready for this race, or is it just physical? I mean, you've proven time and time again you can get those times, but is it more about kind of getting yourself mentally locked into this kind of race?
Me, I think it's mostly mental. I think I'm physically ready to do anything. It's just I got to get my mind right and get focused. I mean, I got a chip on my shoulder, so I think I'll go in and do something pretty good. So we'll see.
And, Coach, you're going to be coaching the sprints and hurdles at the Olympic Games. So from a coaching at a national team perspective, what are you hoping to see at these games to kind of get you amped up for Rio?
Oh, well, the one thing great about the American trials is it's the toughest meet in the world. It's tougher than the Olympic Games. Everyone realizes that around the world. America has the toughest process to make an Olympic game. If you can be top three, you can be a finalist at the Olympic Games, and so it's self-selecting. And last night I watched gymnastics, and I watched diving yesterday, and I watched men's gymnastics the night before, and then swimming is coming up. All these events are the preludes to the greatest event in the world, track and field. It's a lead-in to track and field. The Olympics is the great overall, but the event at the Olympics is track and field. So it's a nerve-wracking to make sure that hope that the right ones make the team. People that can medal in the Olympic Games. And so, all I do is sit there and watch the process and try to get my guy through. The deal is I work for the USA in Rio, but next week I work for University of South Carolina Gamecocks to get Dondre to the next round is my major deal. And those things can happen. So we got to go one step at a time, one race at a time, one start at a time, and to get them to understand that process. Because too many people put too many things ahead of things. You know, they're in the finals. Well, you have to get through the rounds to get to the finals. And if you get in lane 8, just don't be in lane 9. Lane 9 puts you on the grass or in the stands. There's no such lane as lane 9. So survive. And I think we've been through that process of learning to survive. Dondre himself has paid a dear price for the whole team. He runs the mile relay, he runs the 4x1, runs the 4x2, and it's those kind of things prepare you physically to withstand some things that some people have not done. Some of the competitors run against, they only run the hurdles, and most of the season they run them one time. And so that gives him a chance to physically, we know he's ready, and his body's recovered from all that work that you put in to be able to beat him. And I think that's what separates Carolina's athletes over the years. We do a lot of preparation in how we put our bodies through a lot of work such that we can get there. So if we make it to this level, we can compete physically. Now, can you handle it mentally? And that's the challenge that he keeps talking about. Can I mentally have myself ready to go do this? When I not doubt myself and let my body do what it's prepared to do.
And Dondre, talk about your confidence level having an Olympic coach as your coach, you know, here on campus, helping you out and getting you ready for these trials. I mean, that's got to be a nice confidence boost to know that you've got the guy that's going to be coaching at the Olympics helping you out, you know, day in and day out.
My confidence is pretty high. You know, having him as my coach, period, just tells me that I can be successful in anything I do. You know, he done coached a lot of good hurdlers in the past, and just I feel like if I just listen to everything he say, I'll be just as good as those hurdlers or even better. And I just feel like having my coach on the Olympic staff is just like an honor, you know. Where I come from, it's just like not that often that I'll walk across a person and know a person like this and everything that he's done in his life, and I feel blessed to have him in my life. And you know, as much as he's done for me over the years, it would really be great if I can do good and be on a team with him. So you know, like I said, I just want to do my best, and I feel like if I do my best, I have good outcomes.
And you won't be the only Gamecock, you know, in your event. You've got Jason Richardson out there in the 110. Johnny Dutch is going to be out there in the 400 hurdles. So there's a lot of Gamecocks that'll be there, you know, rooting you on. Does that kind of help boost you up, or is it just kind of every man for himself and like Coach said, survive?
It's both. Every man for themselves, and it's also like get me amped up to race those guys. It's like, hey, I want to be able to say I was the best hurdler here at Carolina. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's all love, and it's just having fun to compete, and that's what I love to do is hurdle. And I mean, I'm happy just being out there sometimes. So I'll be pretty excited.
And Coach, we'll wrap up with you, you know, touching on Jason and Johnny and on the women's side, Natasha, you know, just the history of Gamecock track and field is very strong here at these trials coming up. But what does it mean to you to have Dondre, you know, as this next chapter in great hurdlers in Carolina history?
You know, I thought about that before coming over. The breadth of the depth of the years in which I've been fortunate enough to participate at the Olympic Games. In 1984, Augustin Young from NC State University was a sprint hurdler from Jamaica that made the Olympic team, and so as you go all the way through to Alan Johnson getting the gold medal, to Terrence Jamel here, to Lashinda Demas being the American record holder in the intermediate hurdlers, and Tiffany Ross Williams being an Olympian in the hurdles. So hurdles has been something synonymous with my involvement in track and field. I think life and hurdles are synonymous with the sport of track and field, and to have these athletes all be successful, all college graduates, and overcome obstacles, it kind of gives me a chill to know the next one. The Dondre is the next step, you know, because it gets like some of those are older athletes, and these are years in which they're aging out. What is going to be the next one? Who is the next person that we get that keeps this 8-year run? Because it's about, once you're in, it's about an 8-year run that you can be in the Olympics level athletes of where people consider you and remember your name 8 years. After you leave track in 4 years, it quietly goes away. Carl Lewis's name is so many kids now that don't know who Carl Lewis is. Carl came to a convention for us last year, and there was so many athletes. Who is that? And so, it's a short memory in greatness. Michael Jordan's getting to be a short memory for some. So I feel honored to have the opportunity to probably leave a legacy in hurdling, and then a legacy of athletes who've come from Carolina, from Don Ellaby and the hammer to Lisa Massapequa and the hammer to Brad Snyder in the shot put. And then you come to Terrence Trammell, who's a medalist 2 times. Those kind of athletes. And then now this era with Jason Richardson and Johnny Dutch and Natasha Hastings and then our international athletes. We have quite a few of those. Janelle in the high jump and Abrams in the 400 meters and you still Siobhan Stoddard and Aileen Bailey, athletes that are continuing to compete and continue to keep us, and hopefully Josh for Nigeria. So we still think that we have a legacy that will continue into the next Olympiad. We would like to have that continuation from this current group of kids who come through the last 4 years here at Carolina. So Dondre and Brockington and Natasha, they represent the past 4 years to see if they can be a part of that legacy of the continuation of a group of athletes. And that's just something that makes me nervous, to hope that they can handle this and they can maintain it and stay in the sport so they can get their chance to carry on. Johnny Dutch will be coming in the next Olympic Games to the end of it. Tasha will also. And so you got to have a seed that's growing into the next era of track and field. And I hope I can be a part of developing that next era of track and field, and Dondre being a part in the hurdles. And so that's the dream, is to keep the legacy of Carolina's track and field relevant around the world.
All right, Coach. Well, very well said. We're looking forward to seeing you and all the Gamecocks in action this coming week at the U.S. Trials. Thanks for your time.
I thank you.